Hi, folks. Welcome back to Cordisco's Corner. I'm your host, Sean Cordisco. Let's see what's going on in the crazy world of politics. From the Hill, looks like Nancy Pelosi is trying to form a panel to looking at the 25th Amendment in order to replace Joe Biden with Kamala Harris. Well, everybody thinks, well, she's really after Trump. Well, think about this for a minute. You form a panel. That'll take a couple of months, at least a month. You can read the article here. Why is she doing this? Just to make Trump look bad? Well, there's a million other things they could try. They've got 1,000 other things. What this is really all about, I think, is what Trump is right. Nancy Pelosi is floating the idea of having the commission later down the road, if Joe Biden wins, to have him removed as president. Because if you read the 25th Amendment, the vice president has to go along with the removal. Well, let's see what Kamala Harris is going to do. Oh, okay, I'll be president. Of course she's going to do it. The president found a friendly audience for an unsubstantiated claim during an appearance on Rush Limbaugh's show on Friday. The conservative host excitedly agreed with Trump, raised the idea during a call-in segment. That's exactly what it is. It's a trial run to see if they can kick Biden out, Limbaugh said. It's not aimed at you, which is true. They would never get him out anyway. It wouldn't happen because Mike Pence would never go along with it. Never. Of course, they say there's no evidence that Pelosi is motivated by the prospect of replacing Biden with Harris. Well, what other reason would she have? All right, so the only other alternative is she's stupid. You can call her a lot of things, but when it comes to politics, she's not stupid. She may make a lot of mistakes lately, and Trump's a hard guy to figure out politically, but she's done very well for herself politically up until now. Obviously, this is what this is all about. Do it now. That way it looks like, well, it's not really about Joe Biden. We're just trying to make the law a little bit better by fulfilling the requirements of a panel. Of course she is. Legislation invokes the 25th Amendment, which empowers Congress to create a body, in quotation marks, that working with the vice president can remove a president deemed unable to discharge the powers and duties of his office. Well, first of all, the woke people ought to go nuts. They put his. Dun, dun, dun. Jesus. You know what? I don't know what else they could even try or complain about. Democrats' concerns about Trump have been fueled by a lack of transparency about the president's treatment for his deadly virus. Well, as of today, he's virus-free. He's walking around. He's smiling up and down stairs. Doesn't look sick to me. Unbelievable. And these are the same guys who say, follow the science. Well, the science is in. He's not sick anymore. Good for him. They ought to be happy. Monday and subsequent notes from the president's physician were brief and offered few details about Trump's condition. This is none of your business. It's under HIPAA laws. He's better. He's not in danger. That's all you got to know. The White House has repeatedly refused to disclose when Trump last tested negative for the virus before he contracted it. Who gives a damn? He's not ill. He's not getting worse. You ought to be happy as your president, whether you hate the guy's guts or not. If Barack Obama was seriously ill or was shot, God forbid, I would be upset too. This isn't a banana republic. We don't get rid of leaders by killing them. Despite Republican claims that the Democratic bill is a trial balloon to replace Biden, the legislation has little chance of being turned into law. Yeah, no kidding. That's why they say it's a trial. And Nancy Pelosi, a trial balloon, so to speak. Unbelievable. Congress is on recess. The two chambers are controlled by different parties, and the Senate is consumed by Supreme Court nomination fight. Republicans in the Senate have already dismissed the bill as a political stunt. Well, of course it is. White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany says, piled on Friday morning, telling Fox and Friends that Pelosi gambit is absurd. Of course it's absurd. I mean, try to keep this family friendly if we can. They must sit around, Pelosi and them and Schumer and all of them and AOC. They must think, what is the most bat blank crazy thing that we could think of doing? And they go do it. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And now they want to pack the court, the 25th Amendment. I mean, what's next? The 25th Amendment was put in after John Kennedy was killed. I'm old enough to remember that. And I was heartbroken. And nobody's formed a panel since the early 60s when the amendment passed. What's the hurry? These guys have no shame. Donald Trump, I don't know if he's pulled out what they really, really like underneath, or he's got him so crazy with Trump derangement syndrome, they don't know what they're doing. Because there's some Democrats there who are actually reasonable at one time that have now completely lost their minds. Completely lost their minds. And that's why I'm not a Democrat anymore. And I'm from upstate New York as a former city council member. And I was a Democrat. Not anymore. Not anymore. It's crazy, 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 crazy. Well, let's see what else is going on. On the Hill again, Cruz, GOP could face bloodbath of Watergate proportions on Election Day. I think if it goes 2 or 3% either way, it might be true. Maybe not as much as Ted makes out. Warned Republicans that the party could face a bloodbath in November if voters aren't feeling optimistic about the economy and the direction of the pandemic. Well, we know that's going to happen because a recent Gallup poll came out that says 56% of people feel better off now economically than they were 4 years ago during a pandemic. During a pandemic. That is huge, huge. If that's the criteria, the economy and the direction and the pandemic, then guess what? Trump wins. I'm worried. It's volatile. It's highly volatile. If people are going back to work, they're optimistic. If they're positive about the future, we could see a fantastic election. The president could get reelected with a huge, big margin. Republicans winning both houses of Congress, and I think that's a real possibility. I don't know what Senator Cruz is trying to do here. I really don't. He was on MSNBC, I believe, so maybe he's just toning it down. Or he's trying to take the Republican base and say, listen, guys, you don't come out, we're going to lose. We're going to lose huge. So you better get your behinds out there. Get the enthusiasm up. Vote in person. Be safe. Wear a mask. Follow the rules, but vote in person. No different than you standing in line at the grocery store, at the post office, the bank, or anywhere else that you go. But I also think that if on election day people are angry and they're giving up hope and they're depressed, which is what Speaker Pelosi and Senate Majority Leader Schumer want them to be, I think that's true. But I think that's more on the Dem side. The pro-Trump people and the hardcore Republicans, they're fired up. They are fired up. I think we could lose the White House and both houses of Congress, that it could become a bloodbath of Watergate proportions. No, not at all. The enthusiasm is so high now. And I believe the end of October, the numbers come out for the last month's economics gains. And from what I hear in different reports, it's going to be, as the president says, huge. It's going to be huge, huge. It's numbers. I forgot the gentleman on, I believe it's MSNBC. These are the greatest numbers of our lives. And that was before the virus. See, here's the thing. Joe Biden has a 47-year record. Okay, we could pick it apart. You could think it's great. You could think it's the worst thing that ever happened. But Trump has a record of bringing the economy back. He's done it before. He can do it again, and people know it. Joe Biden has opened up a 9.7-point lead over Trump in the Real Clear Politics average of polls, his largest lead in months. I think that's misleading. I think a lot of those polls lean Democrat. Also, they're doing a nationwide poll. He's going to lose the popular vote. There's no question. If he wins the popular vote, of course, it'll be a Reagan landslide type thing. But I don't think he will. Open up healthy leads in battleground states, including Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. And the president is polling weaker than expected in states they weren't expected to be in place, Ohio, Iowa, and Georgia. Ohio and Georgia, president will win easily. Iowa's coming around. Their polls are always a disaster anyway. Always a disaster. Republicans are growing worried that Trump could face a big loss on Election Day that cost a part of their majority in the Senate. BS. My prediction here, in the end, it would be 51-49 Republicans in the Senate or 52-48. That's my prediction. You say, well, John, that's not that big of a prediction. Well, we'll see. Democrats have raised enormous amounts of money, so we're just going to have to go back. I mean, a crystal ball. Let's go back to 2016. Everybody says, well, we should have saw Trump was going to win. We should have saw. No. The people in the Rust Belt. I'm in upstate New York. We're in the same boat. And many people are sick to death. That Trump is the resistance. That's the part that the Democrats don't understand. He is the bull in the china shop. It was like walk to him. He would go in those bureaucracies in all the different departments and just wipe them out. He is dangerous to them. Not that he's dangerous to the average people. The people that have been, that Michael Moore said, that have been neglected are madder than hell, and they're going to be out in force again this time. And it's going to be great. And I want to thank everybody for watching this video. Please like and please subscribe. I'm new at podcasting, so if you could really hit that notification bell, and maybe more importantly, if you could really, really hit the share button and share this video, I would be very, very appreciative. Being new, it's hard breaking in, so I hope you can help me out. Until next time, goodbye and good luck.